Hey everyone, it's time for Geocache Talk. Whether you're at work, in the car, wherever you are, we hope you enjoy the show. Please give it a like and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, TuneIn Radio, or Google Play, that you get all the weekly Geocache Talk goodness. Big thanks to the Travel Bugs for the music and our patrons, Demon Hunter 2, Aggie Jedi Master, Electric Water Boy, Joshua the Geocaching Vlogger, Cashly, One Kind Word, Ravenclaw Tia, Shermanator 18, Butterfly Girl, Loon Trackers, the Aussie Geocacher, the Geo Gearheads, Sodak Zach, the Deadliest Cachers, Terrell 2, Neil Moore, Molly the Geocaching Dog, Team D&D, Geocaching Adam, Peachy 1276, the No Code Geocachers, Curiosity Girl, Tick Magnet, Marsipanic, Bricker John, Firesafe, Doc Firewoman, FS Abero, Geo Rick, Cache Addict Mel, Geocaching Janji, the Geocaching Junkie, Sir Drumalot, Genice, Tricasius, Tom Frey, Rugels, and our new patrons, the Bruce Zero, EGK PBR, and Casamaja. Now that last one, Casamaja, his name is Stoli, and he lives in Norway. So very cool. We've adding another of our many countries to our list of patrons. And so if you'd like to become a patron, wherever you are in the world, head on over to patreon.com/geocache talk for more details. Patrons get path tags, coins, other geocaching swag during the year, as well as invites to special events only for patrons. Support levels start at as little as $3 a month. Well, let me start by welcoming my co-host, Sydney.
Hello again, everyone.
And Sydney's in New Digs, so she's got to get her background set up eventually, I guess, right?
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Jesse's can't be with us tonight. He was in DC this weekend for work, so it's the Sydney and Gary show tonight. So, but we also have our guests. So let me jump right into show 72 for October 22nd. We talk about Extagz with the owner of Extagz, Joshua White. Joshua, welcome to Geocache Talk.
Thank you, Gary. Glad to be here.
It's really cool. We're going to talk about a lot of cool things tonight about Extagz and Joshua and Joshua. I got to hang out a few weekends ago. I guess was it about 3 weekends ago, Joshua? We did
3, 4.
3, 4. That's actually been a little while, hasn't it? But because you've done,
they're starting to run together.
Yeah, they do. And it's been a whirlwind tour for you too. We're going to talk about that tonight. You really haven't been home much the last 3 weeks.
No, I haven't.
Well, definitely join in as we do a little news. So if you want to comment, you may, as we talk about some news items. So things that came out this week, the solution checker that was released from geocaching.com that you can add to your caches. Sydney, what are your thoughts on this?
So I turned it on for one of my caches just to see, and it just kind of pops up right at the bottom of your cache page, so that's nice. And then if someone types in the coordinates and they get them right, it automatically updates the corrected coordinates for it, so that's helpful. Mm-hmm. But the only downside is that you can't see it if you're just using the app, so you have to go to the website to see the checker.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Someday, I think it's still they're still working on it. They said it's pretty basic, but I feel like they're gonna add more stuff to it.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if GeoCheck is still out there. I know we need to have Jennifer on sometime, or somebody who's a real puzzle. I don't know. Do you do a lot of puzzles, Joshua?
I am terrible at puzzles, if I'm honest.
Yeah, like the rest of us, sometimes we're not the greatest at it. But I used to use events for all my sites, but I don't know if events has sort of gone by the wayside as far as people using that. But so Electric Water Boy is in the chat room. He's asking about if it works on Cache or CGeo, and I think right now, Tom, it doesn't work at all, right, on any app for. It doesn't work on Cache. Okay.
Definitely not Cachely because it's not an API thing.
Right.
I don't have Android, so I don't know about CGO. But that app works differently. So
yeah. Kyle Silva. Hey Kyle. He's in our chat room.
Mm-hmm.
Which I want to take a moment, since Kyle's in there, to talk about hashtag US Geocaching Hour, which will be on tomorrow night.
That's right.
So don't miss Monday night, our tweet chat that we do as a group, and it's great fun. So definitely join that. But he mentions he does a lot. He has 200 plus mystery caches. Peter Stepanek, who's in our chat room, also mentioned the GeoCheck is still up. So, and Kyle uses Certitude. So there's a few of them out there. I like the idea that geocaching is trying to include something like this, or is
especially because didn't a few of them kind of dropped off in the past couple of months, right?
Yeah.
Like one, I don't know if, they never renewed their website, or the one doesn't work anymore or something like that. So I feel like this is, I don't want to put those people like out because they make some great checkers, and some of them have some really interesting features. So we'll have to see what Geocaching HQ comes up with for theirs.
Right. And Ed, you're asking about the Sydney's shelf of geocoins. She's moved to other digs, so she's got to work on her background. So she'll have this gigantic no, she won't have it. We'll
see. I don't know what I'm gonna do back there. This is also my bedroom, so I don't want geocoins hanging everywhere.
Right. Hey, come on. I mean, you're in it. You're in. This is a sport that you're in.
We'll see, guys.
You have a trackable on yourself. I mean,
I do. That's me. I share this bedroom. Unfortunately.
Well, that's true. Yeah. So, hey, he geocaches. Come on.
He does.
All right. We're moving on. Sliding on down the road on that one there. Coins are still for sale. So here's the coin. I'm getting better, I think, at this. By the time I get it right, we'll be done selling them. But
nice.
There's the coin for sale. There's the back. So $17 US, $23 international. And they're located at the bottom of the main page at geocachetalk.com. So another couple notes. We've gotten the email, and I mentioned before that we really are excited when we get email. We're starting to get more and more emails. So we almost have like an email section of the show now. So we may have to put a little music for our email part. But anyway, I want to comment about a couple things. One of them I want to talk about more on another show, but I do want to mention it because I think this is fascinating. This is from Larry Dickinson. He sends a note. He says, "Hi guys, love your show. Wanted to let you know about a very large team geocache that was built by myself and 2 other cachers. And so it's a cache that's 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet. But here's the interesting thing: it requires 4 people to reach the cache. It is placed on the property of a friend of his, and the GC code for it is GC76G, as in geocache 97. It involves 3 people pulling cables to release the cache inside the box. And the 4th person is required to press hidden buttons to turn on lights inside the box. So it's kind of a cool concept to have something like that, which, you hear about people who do like team geocaches with 2 people. Like West Virginia Tim has one where it's one of those kind where you've got Arduino, where you've got one person has to be at one spot, one person has to be another spot, and you do it simultaneously. You get cords and so forth. So this is kind of cool. It takes 4 people to do this cache, so that's pretty intense. That's pretty intense to do. Then I love that idea. So it's a great idea. So thanks for sharing that one. And then Paula, one of our patrons, Curiosity Girl, sent a note. She goes, "Hey, I'm just re-listening to episode 69. I really like the idea about volunteering to clean up geolitter. I wish geocaching.com had a filter for archived caches. They kept the listing for archive purposes on their website, so it'd be possible. Since Groundspeak seems to be cracking down on possibly abandoned caches, perhaps they would be amenable to this idea. If you want to propose it, she'd second it. So, kind of what we were talking about, Sydney, about how are we going to get this process done?
Yeah, that can be hard sometimes, though, because you can't always tell if the cache owner picked it up or not, because why would they post a note saying, oh, I picked up the cache if it's already been archived?
Mm-hmm. Right. And not everybody, and especially for the ones that we've all probably seen these, if you get any alerts, you'll see a note that says, we had to archive this cache because we can't get a hold of the cache owner. So in those cases, that there's no chance that.
Who knows if the cache was even still there? Like it might have been missing, and that's why it got archived.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very possible. All right, so on to our next item is our blog. So we have Sarah McClarkey, who sort of runs the show for us for blog, and she does a great job. She finds really cool people to add. And if you're interested in putting a blog in, send a note, email to geocachetalk@gmail.com, and we'll get you in touch with Sarah, and Sarah can talk to you about the blog. And so we just had one she put out there yesterday. It's the 5 people you meet in caching, and it was written by Tentman
Tent, I think.
Tentman Tent. Yeah, that's Andy Wright he's from the UK, I think, and so it was really good. I really enjoyed reading that one, but it's on our website. So geocachetalk.com, and go to the blog section and read the one that Andy just wrote. Read all of them because they're all great. But the last one we just had was really cool. So go read that, and let me know if you have other people that would like to be involved. So, all right, well, let's get into it, Joshua. We're going to talk about Extagz, but before we do, we want to talk about, because people are like, oh, we're just going to talk Extagz. We're going to talk a little geocaching too, because this is Geocache Talk. So tell us a little about your Geocache Talk background, just to let people know that are in the audio or actually watching. Where are you right now, Joshua?
I'm actually sitting out front in an RV park in Burleson, Texas.
Awesome.
I was planning on being in a room here at the RV park where it'd be nice and quiet and indoors, but I found out it closes early on Sundays, and I didn't realize that.
Oh, well, that's okay. So he's in the great outdoors. That's what geocaching is about. The great outdoors.
I love it out here.
That's awesome. But so tell us a little bit about your background in geocaching.
Well, I still consider myself pretty new to geocaching. I'm about 5 weeks away from my 5th anniversary of when I started. My family's always been pretty big into the outdoors, which is why we're at an RV park. We tent camp a lot, we canoe, hike, and it just, somebody mentioned it to me once, and it sounded like something fun to do to add to all of our other activities. Mm-hmm. And so instead of doing it on a camp out or something, I pulled up the website and the app at home and checked it out and found out there was a geocache in the park in my neighborhood. So we all got excited and went for a quick walk, and about 15 minutes later we found our first cache, and it was a lot of fun. My kids were, well, I have 4 kids, but my 2 oldest were 7 and 10, so they loved it, and we've been hooked ever since.
That's awesome. Yeah, just so cool to hear about people's experiences and where they get started, and and being able to do it as a family is always kind of cool. I know some people it's tough because there's like one member of the family who geocaches, one that's either an extreme muggle or, like in Sydney's case, it's not extreme. He'll cache, right?
I wouldn't consider him. He likes to go. He just doesn't care to log them.
Right. So he's like 1%.
He's just in it for being outside. He doesn't care about numbers or whatever. He doesn't care about any of that stuff.
Right.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not about the numbers.
Everyone enjoys it differently.
Yeah, exactly.
And the dog likes it too. So.
Yeah, there you go. Rogue loves it. So,
Nice.
So what was your first exposure to coins and trackables? We'll start with that. If you remember.
So after our first cache, I went home and I spent like 4 or 5 hours on the internet looking into everything that could be involved with geocaching. And, I read about them that day, but about a week later, we went geocaching again in a nature center near our house. Mm-hmm. And the nature center had, I think, 8 or 9 caches, and they were all ammo cans. And so in my first 10 caches, I found a trackable that had a huge book attached to it. And I was so excited I took it. I looked at its goal and everything first, but it took me forever to find somewhere to put it, because after those first ammo cans, I found a whole lot of smaller caches. Mm-hmm. And so I had that trackable for probably longer than that owner liked, for a newbie to have picked up and hold on to.
We've all been there. We've all done that. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I got a trackable. I got to get go. Oh my gosh, I've had it for too long.
Yeah. And then, so finally I committed to dropping it off. And then, of course I couldn't find anything for a while that it fit in, but eventually I dropped it. And then, I found a geocoin in a cache not long after. And kind of fell in love with that aspect of the game as well.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So we fast forward though to a point where you got exposed to Extagz. So what was your first encounter with an Extag?
So that was through Facebook. When I get involved in something, I get a little obsessive. So, I joined 40 or 50 or 400 Facebook groups about geocaching, of course. And, and started reading obsessively about everything there is to do, and interacting with other geocachers, which is always a lot of fun. And at some point, someone posted in one of those groups about Extagz, and I think at the time they were starting a monthly club, which is still now going.
Oh, cool.
And so I was intrigued by the club, and they posted a picture of a tag. I don't remember what tag it was now, but I thought, well, that's cool because it was shaped and it had some personality to it. And so I found an Extagz Facebook group and got pretty obsessed with them as well.
So then there came a point where you found out that Extagz was going to just go defunct, right?
Closed, yeah. So the former owner, the founder of Extagz, posted on Facebook one day that he was just going to go ahead and shut down for whatever reason. And there was a pretty big outcry from the community of people who, trade and collect and are involved in the community. And, a lot of people know each other really well and didn't want to see it disappear. So I just commented on it and said, hey, why don't you just sell the company to me instead of closing? And
what a great idea. Let me go check around and find out who wants to buy it. You're like,
were you serious when you said that?
Yeah, I was. I said, like I said, I get obsessive about things. And I was a pretty obsessed customer. So I really didn't want to see it disappear. I wanted to be able to keep making tags myself. And I know from the other comments that a lot of other people still wanted to as well. So it seemed like a fun opportunity. And I've owned small businesses in the past, so it just sounded like something that fit my personality. And it was pretty much a whim at the moment, but yeah, it became an obsession after. So
we'll fast forward through the story a little bit, but because you told me, we talked about this we had a great time talking about this at Muncie Bash when we were there, but
we did, yeah.
But so eventually, again, fast forward through the story, as he got back to you and said, "Let's do it," right?
Yeah. He said he messaged me one day. He said, "Are you still serious? Are you still interested?" And I said, "Absolutely." So he said, "All right, well, let's do it." And so I drew up some papers and sent them to him. And from that conversation, it was really just a couple of weeks.
Oh, cool!
Wow.
And then we had it wrapped up and announced.
So I have a quick question. Did you have like a regular job? And this was just a side thing, or you just decided, hey, let's own a business?
Well, so I'm kind of odd in a lot of ways. I actually am a stay-at-home dad.
Okay, cool.
And I homeschool my kids. I actually also previously owned a small geocaching store. So it seemed like a good idea.
Okay. And about how long ago did you start at Extagz?
I bought the company in mid-June. June 12th, okay. Somewhere around there. I should know that, but
it's okay. So, and it's been a whirlwind. So,
it's hard to believe it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just gonna say it's been interesting talking to you about it and working on getting you on the show and to talk about it. And we're gonna show a lot of Extagz. And just a little quick note: we are gonna give away Extagz to 3 winners. Although we're gonna do 2 tonight, and 1, if you listen carefully, will be for those that after the show, the live show, for audio listeners, because we get that's probably the majority of our show audience is afterwards. So Sydney that was a great idea, Sydney, let's keep including our audio people during.
Right. I know they feel left out sometimes. So
I know, which I feel bad, that we've, but so a couple live winners, then we're going to have an audio winner. We're going to ask a question for. We won't take any answers tonight. And so, in fact, you'll have till Friday at midnight on what day is that? October 27th, I think, if I got it right. Yep, 27th. So Saturday morning, when I get up, I'm going to send the winner to Joshua, and he will take care of sending you your win of Extagz. So we will get started with our questions here in a moment, but first we're going to switch gears, and Sydney's going to ask some questions. And Sydney, I'm going to pull up on the screen so you can talk through it. So I'm going to do a show, and Sydney's going to talk about. He's going to ask some questions right now.
Sure.
Let me switch gears here.
Were they always, because if people don't know, path tags are round. Extags are kind of like path tags, right? You would say?
Yep.
But Extags, you can have basically any shape you want, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. That's.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So we started off with rounds. The owner was really just looking for a way to make his own swag on the side, and so he started making rounds just like path tags, round with a hole.
Here's some round ones I'm showing on the screen just to let the audio people know what we're doing. But showing some so there's basically a standard looking path. We'll refer to path tags as the other company that does this. So go ahead.
Yeah. And so we started off with that. So the top 2 in the left-hand corner that you're seeing right now were the first 2 he made. The company, when he started, he called it X-Man's Exchangeables. So those first 2 tags on the back, instead of saying Extagz, they say X-Man's Exchangeables.
Okay.
And eventually people started asking for different things, and so the kind of culture was that if you want to try it, we'll see if we can make it happen. And we're going to continue that culture, but yeah, that kind of segued us into different shapes, and now we have various molds available that are kind of shapes that a lot of people use, but then you can also do any shape that you'd want.
There's a rectangle I'm showing on the screen. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we have rectangles, which a lot of people use to make license plates, and squares and geokisses and hearts and trolls,
Oh, dude, don't
puzzle pieces.
don't jump that far ahead.
I jumped ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I get excited. I'm sorry.
I know y'all keep going, but I like the rectangles are cool because, like you said, you can make it like a like a license plate. So
yeah, those are cool. Do you have any idea how many different colors you guys can do? Or is it just whatever?
It's pretty wide open. The factory uses the Pantone color books, and so you can pick up color cards, and if the numbers will say PMS 1972, and they can make that happen. So there's thousands of colors and glitter and translucent colors, and we have those available all year round.
Right. And then they have like the code on the back, and that's how you log them on the website, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So typically they're going to be on the back. Some of them have them engraved around the outer edge. Some customers will request to not have a code on it, and then so you just have kind of like geocaching. You have to kind of figure out what the code is. Right. There are people who can help you with that, but yeah.
And we're going to show some actual.
I have gotten one like that actually.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Really cool.
Yeah. So what they did was they used both sides for like a design, so they didn't have room for the code. So
yeah, it's not uncommon. So yeah, they're not as cookie cutter, so that leads to sometimes people having a hard time finding a code, but they're always available, and myself and Marie were both more than happy to answer questions from people and find you a code if you have a tag you can't log.
So Gary was just showing what would be like a cancer ribbon, but you guys have them done in a bunch of different colors. So that's like a mold that is kind of standard per se, I guess.
So at some point there was an awareness ribbon club, and we said, hey, we're going to start doing these awareness ribbons. Anyone who's interested, let's work this out together. And so the mold, that makes the price cheaper for everyone when we share a common back, and then do different colors. Now, some people decided to do something different with the front design, and that's fine. But there are, I want to say, about 35 of those different ribbons that are done for different organizations to raise awareness for different things.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those clubs online for path tags or Extagz where they say, this is our theme, come up with a design, and then the group all trades them with each other.
Right.
So why don't you talk a little bit about trading? Can you do that online? Do you do that in person? Both?
Yeah, both. On the Extagz website, on Facebook, in person. I recently went to a couple megas, and people were, wandering around with tags, looking for new tags to trade, and you come home with several dozen new ones, and it's fun to look through and see, who you met and what their personal item or signature item looks like, and to know that yours went into their collection. And,
right.
But yeah, our website is set up to where when you have an account, you can log in, and you can go into the gallery and see what tags are available, and if it's available to trade. If it is, you can request a trade, and pretty easily say, this is the tag I have available to trade for that one, but if you want something different, let me know, and then you just mail them back and forth.
I love these. Oh, Spider-Man. Oh, cool.
So by mail is how I got my first probably 800, 900 tags. I didn't trade in person for a really long time.
Whoa. Hang on now.
You have 900 tags?
Hang on now. Stop. Let's go back. You got how many tags?
Actually, I think I'm up to about 1,100 now.
That's awesome.
But at Going Caching 2 weeks ago, I came home with about 70.
New
I think
ones.
about 50 of those were Extagz.
Very cool.
And then Geocoin Fest, I think I came home with about 2 dozen or so. The numbers are all running together at this point.
Oh, yeah, because it's been a whirlwind for you.
Yeah. Yeah. But a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we're going to we are going to talk about those two things that you went to, those two megas, here in a little bit. But
we had a question from the chat room.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked, "What's the difference between a path tag and an Extag? Is it just two different people making pretty much the same thing?"
Yeah, two different companies. Really, that's the biggest difference. The earliest Extags weren't exactly the same size and shape and everything as a path tag, but but today, if you do a round tag with a hole in it, the mold is pretty well spot on.
Right.
The cost is probably the biggest difference.
Mm-hmm.
When a customer buys with path tags, the rounds, if you do the first order 50 for $99, whereas we get 100 tags for $99.
Okay.
So really good price, and you can do lots of cool. Like I said, we did some cool shapes, but we'll I want to show off a couple of one I've got here. So this is my very first Extag, and I had no idea what kind of like you were talking about, Josh. I had no idea what this thing was when I got it. I think I found it. I'm pretty sure I found this in a cache, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But this is my Betty Boop Extag. There it is. I'm showing it on the screen.
Very nice.
When I found it, I was like, "Whoa, this is cool," because it's I'm used to these cool path tags that are round, but it's kind of cool to get something that's sort of 3-dimensional. So
yeah.
So that was really neat just to see that. Of course, that was of course before you got the company, but you're carrying it on. In fact, you have your own Extag, which I'll show. So you could do shapes like
it does.
It does. There's Joshua White right there on the screen. So
normally, if I'm out geocaching, I'll typically be in camo and orange. So, but the back is also black and gray camo. So, I went with an outfit change on the back.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
And so I try to make a personal item that's really a personal item, and I drop them in caches. I give them to cachers when I meet them. I gave away, I think, about 150 of those the last 2 weeks. Anybody walking by my booth wearing camo and orange got yelled at until they had one of my tags.
Tag.
I'm pretty sure I scared a few people, but I get excited. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then the last one I'm going to show tonight, and Josh was going to show some too because he's got lots of cool ones he's got with him. But I've got Trogdor. Got that from the team.
That's one that I don't have.
Oh, okay. Let's start the bidding right now.
$100.
Yeah. Start the bidding.
Yeah, I'm going to need it at some point for sure.
Yeah. Because you're trying. It's got to be hard to do. You're trying to get one of every one of them.
Jeez.
I am. So our most recent order number was tag 2081, I believe.
Okay.
So I'm right about halfway there, but there's also several versions of some of those done. So
that's true.
I think I'm actually just under halfway there when you consider versions.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a quest of mine at the moment.
That's awesome. Well, I showed off some of the Extags I have, but we're going to move on to some other cool tags that you're going to show as well. So,
right. So we were kind of talking about the clubs that people do, but there's, a hot new game recently. So why don't you show some of your Pokemon Extags?
So recently a bunch of people came together to make some Pokemon tags.
And they're sparkly.
Yeah, this one has glitter. I believe this is Ghastly, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And
Lickitung.
Lickitung has the glitter tongue.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Crocodile, I actually made this one. This was the last tag I made as a customer.
And right, so do you have those little containers for every tag that you have?
I don't know. I put them in containers for some of the different types of things that we can do as a display at some of the events that I recently went to. But no, they're not. Most of mine are in coin flips and binders.
Okay.
They take up a lot of space even that way.
Right. That's for sure. I have like just binders and binders of path tags or Extagz or all that stuff, and then they get to be so heavy.
Right. Yeah. I took 3 binders with me on an airplane recently, and that one bag was 35 pounds.
Wow.
Your bag is over the weight limit, sir.
It was pretty close. Yeah.
But I have to drag all these with me. This is my job.
Right. I'm going somewhere where I need these binders. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
You guys also make 3D tags?
Yeah. So actually, just a couple of months ago, one of our customers asked, and we decided to give it a shot. So here is the first 3D Extag. I don't know if you can tell. It's round with a hole, but it has depth and dimension.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
The eagle there. Yeah. So that's the first, so far the first and only 3D Extag that's been made.
That's cool.
But that's something fun and new. And we also recently had someone ask if we could do a micro tag because they wanted something that they could fit in film canisters. So her idea was that it looks like an elephant smashed inside of.
Oh, it looks like it's all smashed
inside of a film can.
Oh, that's cute.
So it's hard to tell, but it's quite a bit smaller than your regular round tag shape.
Yeah. Do you have
put one next to it? Yeah.
Yeah. Show that. That'd be kind of cool to look at. The regular. Well, we would call it regular shape. I mean, we kind of know what we're talking about. We're talking about regular versus micro. So he's going to show that here.
So,
oh, okay.
I guess I'll put it on top of it.
On top of it? Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's not a whole lot smaller, but a little bit.
Yeah. Smaller enough to fit in a film can.
Yeah. Exactly.
So just again, it was kind of those, people like to do something different. And, if we can help someone do something fun and interesting, we're going to give it a shot.
Yeah. Somebody was mentioning about they like the idea of the no hole in them, and I thought that was cool to have that. So,
yes, we've done quite a few of those. See one in front of me.
Very cool. So, and somebody commented like Sydney did about the, whoa, what do you got there as far as the containers? Like, this cool. Can you buy those little containers?
Yes. So my wife is into jewelry making. She's very crafty. She's designed quite a few Extags. I can't draw stick figures well. So, so these are actually containers that people use for, storing jewelry making supplies. So my wife happened to have some sitting around, and that was her idea.
Very cool.
We also recently did a slightly larger tag. Here's
almost Geocoin size.
So it's 30 millimeters next to a 23 millimeter.
So would you say that's like a $50 size almost, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably so, yeah. So that one's the Extagz logo with geocaching colors on it there. Actually, that's what I'm going to send to our winners because
sweet.
It's a new one that not many people have. So,
man,
I'll send you to one as well.
A good segue. Oh, awesome. A good segue then to our first question of the night. So, chat room, get ready. Get your fingers ready to type in an answer to this question. To win tonight, well, one of our many winners tonight. But question number 1 is, where is Joshua right now? Where's Joshua White doing the show from? And I will take the first winner in the chat room to answer that question.
Man,
Where is he located tonight? Where is he
I
doing
think
the
you've
show?
stumped people with this question.
That's okay. If they'd have been listening at the beginning, I asked that. That was the very question I asked.
We got a good.
So
we got really specific answers. And
yeah, we got some other answers. So
I guess it depends what you were looking for, Gary.
Yeah, I was looking for.
Were you looking for the state?
No, I wasn't looking for the state.
that was the first answer.
Yeah, I need to be more specific, didn't I? It was more like where he's from. Where is he currently sitting? Obviously, he's sitting in the United States or the state he's in. But I'll figure that. We'll figure that out for the answer. We had a couple people that one gave a specific answer, one gave a very general answer. So I'll work that out. I'll let the winner know.
If you need me to send one to both of them, I can.
All right, we'll do that.
Joshua's
gonna do. We got two winners for the first question. Geotab won, and Angie, geocaching Janji won. So,
cool.
Yeah, Wet Coaster is like looking at the camera. Yeah, that works.
Nice.
And Kindle in a chair. Yeah. Okay, that's my fault. Yeah, you got me. Yeah, Electric Water Boy, same thing. He's in a chair.
You should have known this was gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
sitting in a chair.
Sitting down. Yeah, y'all are all funny.
He's in the U.S. He's on the Earth.
Yeah, you do a podcast to try to do this stuff, okay? Yeah, give me a hard time.
Does that help any?
Yeah, it helped. Yeah, we got two winners. So my second question in a little while is going to be very specific.
Right, very specific.
Yeah, so people are having a lot of fun with me. Yeah, so all right, that's okay. So Geotab, you won, and obviously Janji won. So all right, back to the show. I'll get a question number 2 here in a little while. So I guess we're gonna move on. Talk a little bit about, because you're talking about we're talking about different shapes, but how large can you make it like? Can you make it like this? I don't know what size this is. What size is Geocoin? Can you? Okay,
yeah.
We'll talk about that a little bit while we're. Go ahead.
So the average round starting tag is 23 millimeters. Most of the minis are more in the 28 millimeter to 30 millimeter range.
Mm-hmm.
We've done Geocoins in the 1.5, 2.5 inch range. And we actually recently did a medal on a ribbon for a customer that I believe is 4 inches. So we're really not constrained. If you have an idea and you want to do something, run it by us. We can probably do it. But for the most part, the minis are in the 28 to 30 millimeter range so that they're kind of consistent, uniform in size, and fit in different ways that everyone displays them kind of uniformly.
Okay. So we had a question from the chat room. Tricassius wants to know, how do we get designs done? Do you guys have any like design partners that you work with, or
Yep.
they just send in what they want, or how does that work?
It works a lot of ways. A couple of months ago, we received an order that had a drawing on a napkin in a pin, and we turned that into a tag. But for the most part, people will work with a designer, talk through their ideas so that they have a piece of digital art that they submit with their order, and have a good idea of what they want it to look like.
Mm-hmm.
We do actually have some designers that we work with, and I haven't announced that we actually recently finished a section of the website that hasn't been made public that has a list of designers we work with. So interestingly, I don't think I remember the actual web address to that page. I believe it's something like extagz.com/designs or designers, one of the two. But my wife is a designer. If you get on Facebook, you can find designers pretty easily. If you go on Facebook and you search Peacock Tag Designs, that's my wife. Mike McGregor does designs. several of our customers have designed their own.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're pretty easy to find if you get online or shoot us a message through the website. We can get you hooked up with somebody.
Awesome. So you were recently at Geocoin Fest, right?
It was, yeah, just last weekend.
So it's not just coins there; it's tags and stuff too, right?
Yes,
obviously.
Yeah, so there were in everyone's register, the packages that people bought. There were path tags, there were Extagz, there were coins.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, really any of the companies that make personal trade items were involved in Geocoin Fest for the most part. So yeah.
What we talked about this a little bit before the show because we thought about going to some back when it was in Houston, and then we didn't get to go to the one in Omaha. So you got to do the one at the Queen Mary. But what for the usual? I mean, I'll say usual. The people that are geocachers that may have never been to a coin fest, the Geocoin Fest. What would I be looking forward to at a coin fest? And I've got a few, as you can see behind me. I've got a few coins, and I've of late gotten several path tags, and I've got a handful of Extagz. So what as a geocacher do you think I would want to be looking forward to in going to a coin fest?
It was so much fun for me going to my first one. But at the same time, I experienced it from behind a table for the most part on Saturday. But Friday night, there's an event. There are events, leading up to it, and there are coins for sale at all those events. And Saturday, on board the Queen Mary, there's a huge banquet room, and the outside was lined with vendors. So you could buy anything from caching containers and logs from all the different vendors that are available. And then there were vendors set up that are designers. Somebody asked about looking for a designer. There were designers there showing their work. Dave Mueller, who's one of our customers, was there, and he has designed and made some of his own tags. Geocoins. And he was there showing off those coins and how he does it, and they were amazing. There were, people just wandering around, sitting at tables, trading coins all day, and buying coins, and trading tags, and buying tags, and just all the fun that you could possibly think of was there on a ship.
Yeah, that would have been cool to go to just for the fact that it's on the Queen Mary. And I mean, how often do you I know you can stay there now, but
yeah,
just kind of a very different experience. I know Chris Williamson of Treasure was there. Ansley was there signing for people. So there's other stuff at a coin fest, I guess. Okay. So
yeah, they had throughout the day on Saturday, they had Coley Long was there doing talks from his book, talking about how to solve puzzles, which I really should have gone to, but I was at my table because I could use some puzzle help. But yeah, so he was there. That, like you said, that there was a table for Treasure, and then they did 2 showings of Treasure on the ship, which was pretty cool. And you could meet and talk with them. So it was a well-rounded event.
So yeah, so people realize. I guess what I'm saying is that, or what we're all saying is that it is a full mega. I mean, obviously, it's sort of the feature is coins and tags and all that, but don't feel like if you're not a huge collector that you can't like enjoy a coin fest. Is that
right? That's
okay.
Yeah, that's very fair to say. Yeah, there was lots to do for anyone, from events to lab caches and a poker event, and anything that you enjoy about geocaching was probably there.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Okay.
And you went to going caching this month too?
I did. Yeah, the week before.
That's crazy.
So last weekend I was in California, and the weekend before that, my 12-year-old daughter and I drove to Georgia and spent several days there in Rome, and enjoyed going caching, which was a lot of fun as well. Very different from Geocoin Fest, just in the types of things they were doing and the theme of their own events, but a lot of fun in its own way.
I've always wanted to go to that one. I just never have had the time. It sounds like a great time.
Yeah, it was my first time at going caching, but they had events just kind of revolving around the spy theme and all kinds of stuff to do. Stage plays on Saturday night, and events for several days, and again, vendors everywhere, food trucks. I like food trucks.
Absolutely. Count me in. And Josh and I, we've got to know each other a little bit, and I met his wonderful kids. They were great. We had really a lot of fun at Muncie Bash this year. Talking to your kiddos, they're wonderful. I know they get that from their mom. But,
that is very true, even if you are joking.
I'm kidding. But it was kind of neat that I got to see some of the, your daughter seemed to really enjoy the whole time, and it was kind of neat to, like you said, you like to, try to do some camping with the son and go out with go do stuff, take the daughter with you on these trips, and that was kind of neat. So
yeah, it's cool that you could take something that you're passionate about, like geocaching and tags and coins, and and make it a fun family thing. All of my family loves geocaching. We have a 2-year-old, so my wife doesn't love taking the 2-year-old geocaching quite as much, but but when we don't have little ones, she's pretty into it as well. And but yeah, it's a lot of fun to bond with my kids through geocaching, and my daughter really loved going caching. In Georgia.
Event, yeah, that's really cool. All right, I'm gonna ask another question. I'm gonna be very specific, and if you've won tonight, you can't win again. But so Geotab and Janji, I guess you guys are out. So everybody else, get ready to type in the answer to my question, and then we got one question we're gonna ask at the end, and then of course that's for the audio listeners for later on in the week. My question is, for the first person to answer correctly in the chat room, what month did Joshua White purchase Extagz? What month? Because we talked about that earlier. He couldn't quite remember the day, but he did remember the month. So what was the month that he won it? Eric got it. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric got it. Sorry, Peter. It was June. Right?
Yep.
About 4 months ago now.
Yep, you won. Kendall, you're trying to be funny again. Yes, it was this year. Anyway.
Good job.
All right, Eric. You're a winner, so we'll get you. I'll get your information over to Joshua. So, okay. So, let me ask you about future. Where we get to see Extagz, and I guess it's sort of a multi-layer question, because you might be at one event, and then you've got a person that might be at another event. So talk about, I guess, the events plural that Extagz is planning to be at in the coming future.
All right. So if you're in the Texas area, I host events fairly frequently myself. I'm hosting one next weekend because I'm finally home not doing anything. So I figured I should host an event. But to get out there and just to see people outside of Texas, I'm trying to attend as many megas as I can. They're fun, but it's amazing to get to meet the people in person that I've interacted with online and whatnot. So I'm hoping to I will be at Texas Challenge next year, which is still Texas, but But it's a mega, and it's actually only about 2 hours from home for me this year, which is awesome.
And it is completely open to anyone. You don't have to be. They just call it Texas Challenge because it's in Texas, but people come from all over to this event. So definitely plan on coming to the Texas Challenge. And if you want to be part of a team, you can be on. If you're not from Texas and you want to be on a team and compete, you can be on the out of town team. And by the way, the out of town team last year almost won.
They were close.
They were really close. So, we got to, it's always interesting every year to see the different teams and their shirts, and everybody gets together and does their little thing. But it's kind of neat. And if you want to be part of the challenge, do like I did. I came to the event. I didn't want to do the challenge part, but just love the mega. It's kind of like Geocoin Fest. If you want to go to Coin Fest, not interested in the coins, that's fine. Go to the Coin Fest because there's so many other things going on at the time. So, all right. So there's one of them.
So Texas Challenge in March. In April, I'm hoping to be at Moga in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Moga.
Yes. And then Seattle Geocoin Fest next year is on my radar for. I'm hoping to be there as well. But then at the same time, Marie, who works for Extagz, I was lucky to. She was willing to stay on with me once I bought the company. So many of the customers know her and love her, and I think if I'd have bought the company and let Marie go, I probably would have already failed by now. So she's great, and she'll be at Metro Gathering this coming weekend, the 28th, 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Date.
Sweet. Where is Metro Gathering at and all that?
New Jersey. Is
that right?
Yep.
Almost positive.
Yeah, it's in like the New York City-ish area.
Okay.
But pretty much all of New Jersey is close to New York City, so.
Right, yeah. It's not like Texas where you're several hundred miles away from another city.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so she tries to attend a lot of the megas there in that area. And she made it to geocaching as well. But yeah, so we're hoping to be at as many as we possibly can.
Very cool.
To meet our customers, show people what we can do, just meet other geocachers.
Awesome.
We have some people were earlier asking about the designs, and I just want to reiterate that get in touch with Joshua and just talk to him about if you don't have any idea what you want, or if you have a general idea but you don't know, you're not a designer, right, Joshua, they can get in touch with you and they can
absolutely
they can work on, I don't know, like you said, you can take your own stick drawing and send it to Joshua. You'll help them work through it.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can find me on Facebook. You can get on our website, and if you message me, I'll get back to you. And we can find a way to get a tag designed for you. If you're starting from having absolutely no clue, we'll get you taken care of.
Very cool. People mentioned in the chat room that Peter Stepanek, he's going to be he's going to that event, and I guess one of the last items from the chat room tonight, Tick Magnet mentioned that he wanted to let you know, Joshua, he's very appreciative of the fact that you saved the company. So,
well, thank you, Tick Magnet. I've enjoyed several of Tick Magnet's tags.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, and just from Geocache Talk to you, from our family to you, that we really are. I know it's been a lot to go through just to get the company purchased and to go through the whole process, but we do appreciate you salvaged this company, this geocaching company. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
A passion of mine, and I've loved it. It's a learning and growing process still for me, but it's a lot of fun.
And the last question, and again, this is for audio listeners, which is, to name, and this is need the answer by Friday midnight, Central Standard Time. We'll get real specific.
So
there.
Is that like Friday at 11:59 p.m.?
Yeah, it'd be Friday, October 27th, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. We haven't switched to daylight time yet, but we're getting close. Name one. Don't do it tonight, and don't you two say anything, because this is the question. But name one of the 3 megas that Joshua White is planning to be at next year. So pretty simple. Just name one of the 3 that he talked about a few minutes ago. So,
hey Gary, how might someone send in their answer?
Yeah, thank you. You need to send your answers to geocachetalk@gmail.com for a chance to win. So there you go. All right, Joshua, where can people find you, and where can they find Extagz out on the internet?
Extagz.com is the best place.
Spell that real quick too.
It's EXTAGZ. .com.
Okay.
Actually, extagz.net will get you to the same website as well. And then, we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/extagz.
Okay.
And if you find me on Facebook, Joshua White, I'm more than happy to friend geocachers and message with you, talk geocaching, talk Extagz.
There are some, like you said, there's several groups out there. There's always cool Facebook groups and there's probably several that are related to Extagz.
There are, yes. Extagz and Path Tags Exchange is one that is pretty active. And if you ask a question in there, somebody will help you out.
Okay, very cool. Coming up on the show, this Sunday, we have on Matt Mercurio, treasure actor, but he has been in so many different things lately. It's going to be fascinating. I did a quick pre-show with Matt, and it gets to be kind of here we have a little geocache talk here, and we're talking about him doing scenes with Al Pacino and Helen Mirren, and so it's kind of like I'm a little bit blown away. But he was Ryan in Treasure, which is right back here behind me. My little treasure poster, and we'll talk a lot about Treasure, but we'll also talk about other things that Matt's been in. He was recently in American Made, and he's got some cool stuff coming up. In fact, one of the items I had to put a note by, because we were talking to Matt. Matt goes, "I'm going to be in," and he mentioned what it was. He goes, "But I don't know if I can talk about it yet." So I was like, "Don't worry." I left a note. I said, "I will ask you before I ask you this question if we can talk about." Because they can't always talk about everything they're involved with.
Sworn to secrecy.
Yeah. Well, if it hasn't been announced or anything, it's kind of like, oh, cool, that's really cool. It's like, well, we can't talk about that yet. So, but it is really cool. I'm looking forward to hopefully talking to him about this item that he is hopefully going to be in, that they're talking about in the future. So, show after that. Sydney, you're going to miss this one.
I know. I will be in Texas near you, Gary.
You will be, and you're going to have an event. I really hope to try to make the event. I've got a new job, so I'm trying to juggle everything. I don't know if my new job is going to, if I tell them, hey, I can't be here today. There's
this thing that I got to do. Yeah.
My co-host is going to be in town, but one way or the other, I will try to work things out. She's in town for a wedding. My son's getting married the same weekend. No connection between the two.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah.
Congrats.
Completely separate events. So
anyway,
yeah. And then in 3 weeks, Crystal, he is a geocacher in Finland. And so we're going to have him on Finland. So this is really cool. I love adding in international guests on the show. We've got our Aussies, and we have we've got Hendel in Germany. We've had on. We've had Sarah is in Ireland. Geo Paul in the UK. Our Canadian friends have been on. We've had several of them on the show. The Caching in the Northwest crew. Some of them have been on that live up there. So I hope I didn't leave anybody else out that is international, but it's getting huge, and we really enjoy all the emails we get from our geocaching international folks that listen to the show. So again, thank you so much wherever you are in the world that you're part of the show. So, well, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Email us your comments at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Geocache Talk. I'm at Gary Slinkard, one word. Jesse is at Memphis_Mafia. Sydney is at ShermanatorGC. And our Facebook page is facebook.com/Geocache Talk. Show be found on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, as well as the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button below so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching. Go buy some Extagz, right? And then go geocaching. So good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.